أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. Today I am going to trace the history of the Haroof Muaqtaat and my research. I am going to share my research and the history of these letters which are known as secret of the Quran, and they are known as the secret between Allah and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Basically, it's a conference presentation, and this presentation was made at Etna conference in Athens, Greece, May 2018. But before we move on, please subscribe to and share my channel for relevant and useful academic videos on these topics of importance. Leave your comments for feedback in the comment box. First of all, briefly, I introduce the Haroof Muaqtaat. There are 14 Arabic alphabet letters repeatedly used in the beginning of 29 chapters out of 114 of the Quran. They are used in 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s and 5 in number. They have engaged scholars' attention from east and west, from the Muslim world and from the non-Muslim world, from old age till modern age. So I am going to present the background to the study. The study will be important because it's going to tell what other scholars from the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam have said and what the modern scholarship is saying about it. So let's begin. The approach of scholars from the times of the Prophet till date towards these letters has not been a single meaning approach. Different scholars give different views. First of all, we talk about these letters as the secret of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Qurtubi says, Qurtubi, who was a Spanish scholar, he quotes from Amir Ash-Shabi, Sufyan al-Thawri and a group of hadith scholars to say that this is a secret which Allah wants to maintain and nobody dare meddle with this affair. I'm not going to comment on that, just to quote Qurtubi as he has quoted the scholars. Then there are other scholars who say that actually these letters stand for numbers. So Alif stands for 1, Lam stands for 30, Mim stands for 40 and Saad stands for 90. That means Alif, Lam, Mim will make 161 number altogether. Ibn Jubair, quoted by Hafs, interprets them as names of Allah in broken form. So Alif, Lam, Ra, Ha, Mim and Noon make Ar-Rahman. See, Alif, Lam, Ra, Ha, Mim and Noon. Ar-Rahman. Mujahid, he says these are the names of the Quran, and Al-Balkhi hold that these are the names of the Quran. Qurtubi quotes them in his book published 2003, page 133. Then there is another scholar, Tusi, also quoted by Ibn Hafs 1998, page 256, that these are the names of 6 days during which Allah created this world. Interesting, isn't it? Then, great scholar Zamakhshari, he calls them the names of Quranic chapters. These are names. This is in his Tafsir, page 966 and page 140. Scholars have different opinion and they have disagreement on the same. Scholars such as Ibn Ashur and Shaltut disagree with this stance on the ground that the aim to name is to remove doubts. With this approach does not serve, because if these are the names, then Alif Lam Mim are the names of 6 chapters, and 6 chapters will not be distinctively known by one name. So this is an interesting comment. Then other scholar like Muhyiddin Sheikh Zada, quoting Ibn Abbas, says these are phrases. So Alif Lam Mim is a phrase and it means Anallahu A'lam. I am God, I know. These are non-textual and philosophical interpretation provided by Ibn Arabi, who was a great Arab scholar. Some scholars call them speciality of the Quran. Allama Tabatabai in his Tafsir Al-Mizan claims that these are the specialties of the Quran and no other divine book has them. According to him, if you ponder a little over the chapters that share these letters such as Mim, Ra, Tawasin, that is plural of Tasin, and Hawamim, that is the plural of Hamim, you find in the related subject certain commonality in these chapters and certain context which is common and which you cannot find in other chapters. This is in his Tafsir published in 1973, page 111. Allama Suyuti, the great scholar, the great Muslim scholar who is unitedly accepted by all scholars, he says that these chapters which have prefix letters contain words. So he goes into the text and he says that these chapters contain words that begin with or contain these letters. So much so that if we replace Qaf with Noon, it looks very unsuitable. The chapter Qaf, for example, has words such as Quran, Khalq, Qawl, Qurb, and Qawlan, and Raqib. This is in his book, page 112 to 113. And such chapter like Al-Qalam has words such as Majnoon and Yasturun, Mamnoon, and Ya'lamoon. So he makes a difference from other scholars by going into the text. Then comes a German scholar, Noldeki, a great German scholar of the Quran. He calls them the names of the writers who wrote the Quran for the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But later on he changed his views. Guzans, an Orientalist scholar, notes about Hamim that they remark on the dreadful Hamim, the boiling water. So he reads Hamim from that as perhaps a typical word for future punishment. And this is in his book published 1924, page 259. Guzan as cited by Jeffrey, 1924, page 259. So there is another scholar, Bellamy. He says that these are the abbreviations of Basmala, that is Bismillah. But he does not and he cannot provide evidence for what he says.